somewhere else. Folks, I was at your work session and you had asked two questions. One, I have provided the answers for you in regard to the number of jobs at Mattel, which is the million. And you have seen the facts which I received from him indicating the number of jobs that they anticipate and at the rate of $15 to $16 an hour and the 200 to 400 jobs. The two buildings that we are talking about at this time would employ roughly the same number of people. That is the one question you asked, which I could provide the answer. The other one, which Ms. Litz asked, is where do they reside, is not quite as easy to do because human relations from those people don't have them divided by county. I'm working on getting that for you, but that is a changing dartboard, and I will get it, but...
Or George, if I can ask, Dennis, do you guys still in Union Township collect that, I don't know if it's per capita tax by the municipality?
You mean that LSD tax?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's collected by the companies, the employers. That's collected by the employers, and that's just sent to us.
And then when they send it in, do they tell you how many people they collected it from?
Yeah, you get a list of who it's collected from.
Can I get a list from your secretary?
Well, I don't know. If you I'll check with our agency, but that's I don't believe all them people are employed at Mattel at this point, but the other two buildings, they don't even know who's going to work there, so we wouldn't get nothing from them at all.
Right, but from Mattel, if I think we were
I'll
looking for...
check with our office manager to see if we have anything.
It's going to be a conglomeration of numbers so that you can get the right numbers, because that will give you a number, and probably from the earned income tax, you probably can get a better number, okay? But I will work on that, but I don't have that at this point in time.
I understand.
And I appreciated the opportunity with Mr. Camp to be here on Wednesday of last, and I think I provided that information and would appreciate your consideration of the LERTA application.
Okay. Is there, want to wait for Gene? We're ready to entertain a motion.
Oh, sure. Yeah, let's just make copies for these guys if they wanted it.
Okay.
That's it. Yeah, you have a resolution, which you were provided with before. Yep.
I'll entertain a motion.
Well, I'll make a motion. I do appreciate the fact that I did verify the information that was promised is in there, that the applicant shall not file an appeal of the assessment on the property containing the new construction or improvement. And so I appreciate that very much. So I do make a motion to adopt this LERTA presented here for Mr. Camp.
I'll second the motion.
It's been moved and seconded. Any questions regarding the motion on this LERTA request? If not, all in favor of the motion, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
It's duly passed 2-1.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your efforts,
I'll
Mr.
tell you what, on
Christianson.
time, I'll tell you, you people are really good today.
Yes,
Get out of here
George,
before
not so
I delay
fast.
you.
George, not so fast.
George, just one. Have you cleared all the hurdles, all the municipal governments?
Yes.
School board.
The township approved it. I was with North Lebanon School District a week ago Tuesday. They said that they would approve it as soon as the county approves it. Their procedure is they want to hear from the county first.
Okay.
But yes, that's
All right.
correct.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Jobs. This gentleman made a point to say, you know, these are fairly well-paying jobs, so.
I think that's a matter of perception. When you have government officials calling for minimum wage rates of $12 to $15 an hour, you know, that's just a matter of time. And, you know, the $7.25 minimum wage is a myth, really. I've been in business my entire adult life and never hired at a minimum wage, and so you know, I'm not excited about the salary again. And secondly, I just, in fact, Dauphin County made a formal policy provision that they would no longer grant LERTAs for warehousing. And, not that I necessarily agree that that's the kind of stance that we should take, but I'm not opposed to the LERTA concept, although just like Clean and Green, the LERTAs, any tax accommodations that we make for a certain specific group of folks, all of the other taxpayers in the county make up that difference, that deficit. So my role as a county commissioner is to make a decision as to whether or not the benefit to the remainder of the taxpayers in the county is there in any specific tax provision that we provide, whether it be a LERTA or Keystone Opportunity Zone or any of those kinds of accommodations. I have to personally weigh that against how it affects the other taxpayers in the county.
Well, you said, Bill, that you weren't excited with the $15.
60, it was over 16.
No, it's 15 to 16. We have it right in the letter here.
Well, you said you were not overly excited about that. What type of salary would you consider to be a salary that would have pushed it over the edge that you could have voted for this?
Salary is only one consideration. I certainly prefer manufacturing, and that's easy to say. I know the mayor prefers small, retail businesses and so on downtown, and she can't will that. I certainly prefer manufacturing, but I can't will that into being. I know that's a difficult summit to come up to pass over, but I certainly would love to see manufacturing, and I really would, instead of taking green lands and turning them into warehouses, I would much rather see us utilize some of the buildings and things that we have existing in the county and particularly in the city. So that would excite me about a LERTA. As far as the salary, if we were looking at manufacturing jobs, we'd probably be looking at closer to $20 to $25 an hour. So, but I will look at these individually as they come along and make a decision. I haven't closed the door on the concept.
Are you worried about the permanence of the operation?
Exactly, and I mentioned that, and when they build these, they don't even know who the tenant's going to be. So the tenant certainly is the one that establishes the salary, not the landlord. And we heard a plea that without a LERTA, these folks are going to go somewhere else, but the new Amazon warehouse that was built in Carlisle, there was no LERTA granted for that, and it's a fabulous looking building. I mean, it's more than a warehouse. It's a processing center with, modern technology. And so it does happen. I understand the land out there located on the interstates and so on it's very inviting for warehousing. So probably a manufacturer, although they're going to have to move their product, most manufacturers use an intermediary now anyhow to warehouse and distribute their products. So a manufacturer perhaps wouldn't want to pay the premium price for the land out there right close to the interstate. So the possibility of attracting manufacturing is probably limited there.